What's up, everybody? Lululemon just reported their third quarter earnings yesterday after market closed. Clearly, the market liked it. Right now, currently up about 10-ish% in the pre-market. We're going to dive into the report. The company also had a pretty big announcement that we're going to talk about. I'll let you know how I see the risk reward on this stock. And just so you all know, I do own a small position in Lululemon. It's close to 1% of my portfolio. I bought in the 160s back in September. I made videos at the time that I was buying. As always, I'll let you know what I plan on doing with my money after this report, whether plan on selling, buying, just holding my position. And if you get value out of the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want to make nice little spreadsheets like this, consider following me on Patreon. You can grab my template and also add-on that makes this really easy. All you do is put in the ticker and hit load, and the sheet basically does the work for you. Nothing here is advice to buy or sell Lululemon stock. I just give you my opinion, so let's get into it. First, just to briefly recap what my reasons were for buying into this company. Lululemon has been a massive growth story. You can see just from this chart here just how much revenue has grown over the past 20-ish years. And yes, now growth is slowing down significantly, but a lot of people were talking about this brand like it's dead, and it's just not. This is not a dead brand. Competition from Alo and Vuori and others has increased. I mean, Lululemon essentially invented athleisure, and now pretty much everyone has an athleisure line. In spite of that, international growth is strong. Their margins remain strong, over 20% operating margin. Now, that has changed in the recent quarter. We'll talk about that, but these margins are incredibly strong for a retailer. Free cash flow, relatively strong as well, and the brand has been returning value to shareholders in the form of buybacks. They have essentially no debt, and they were trading for a single-digit multiple of operating income. As just a straight-up PE multiple, we were looking at a 12-ish times multiple at the time that we bought in. And to me, I thought that the risk reward looked quite good. Now, with all that said, let's look at this report. Earnings up 7% year over year. Earnings per share down 10%. Comparable sales up 2%. Those are the big numbers. In spite of earnings being down, this is a beat on both the top and bottom line from where people were thinking the company would report. And certainly this top line result, total revenue up 7% year over year. That is not a dying brand. At the same time, the number doesn't tell the whole story. First of all, store revenue overall flat. It's really digital revenue where they've seen the growth. And breaking it down by geography, America, the revenue is down. North America is definitely the biggest market for Lululemon, and total revenue and comparable sales are both down. The growth is international, and this is primarily China. Breaking that down between China and the rest of the world, China in terms of constant currency up 47% year over year. The rest of the world up 19% year over year. Meanwhile, you see the US down 3%. Comparable sales in the US even a bit worse, down 5% year over year. So this is definitely something to be concerned about. But these international numbers are way stronger than I think most people thought. And yes, they are opening stores in China. They're expanding internationally, but this growth isn't just from expansion. Comparable sales, if we just look at the same stores from a year ago to now, in China, they're up 25%. The rest of international up 9%. As disappointing as the US results are, these international numbers are fantastic. And there's still a ton of room for international growth. The Americas still account for about 2/3 of total revenue. China, including the territories, not even a third of what we're seeing for revenue in the US. And this isn't just a story about China. They're also seeing success, they talked about on the call, expanding in Korea. So while there's a sense, especially among American investors, that this is a stagnant brand, this is a dying brand, the numbers don't bear that out. The international runway is still long. This is still a growth story everywhere other than the US. And Canada, I should add. Now, let's talk about probably the biggest piece of news from this earnings call, which is that the current CEO, Calvin McDonald, he is stepping down. And by stepping down, he was almost certainly forced out by the board, but, they're putting on a good face. He said, "I will step down from my role as CEO of Lululemon on January 31st. Now, interestingly, the company is announcing this, but they don't have anyone lined up to take his place. They say they're searching for a new CEO, but, until they find one, they're going to have this co-CEO situation going on where the current CFO and CCO are going to serve as co-CEOs. I don't really like co-CEOs. It often leads to a question of who's calling the shots. Sometimes the company can be a little more directionless, but it seems this will be a temporary situation. To me, it does seem a little bit unusual to do all this before you have someone lined up to take this place. Calvin McDonald has been criticized for, not understanding product, not understanding what the core Lululemon customer is responding to. During his tenure as CEO of Lululemon, their top line has roughly tripled, and they've expanded internationally. I mean, a lot of good stuff has happened while he's been CEO. But despite talking about new designs, new colors, new this and that, he has not been able to reignite growth in the Americas. And probably for that reason, they want someone fresh, they want someone new, he's out. They want more innovation, new styles, new clothes on the shelf. They talk about bringing their new style penetration to 35% by next spring. Perhaps there'll be new marketing, could be a slight increase to operating expenses. And that brings us to margin. With any retailer, you have to know what's going on with the margins. We knew margins were coming down. They talked about that on the last earnings call. Their products are made overseas. They're subject to tariffs. They have to worry about this change in the de minimis exemption. So we knew margins were decreasing, and the result is gross profit margin down to 55% compared to, 58.5% last year. Overall, the margin compression actually wasn't as bad as what they were guiding for, and they attribute their outperformance relative to guidance to predominantly leverage on higher than expected top line. So basically their revenue outperformed, and also lower net tariff impact. So while that's all good news, in the quarter, operating margin, 17%. This is quite low for this brand. Almost any other retailer would be extremely excited about 17% operating margins. They would be ecstatic, but not Lululemon. This is low for them. A question we have to ask is, what are operating margins going to be like in the medium term? Is this just a new normal? And management was asked quite a lot about margins on their call in the Q&A section. This analyst asked directly, is there anything we should consider when we're modeling out operating margins relative to this year? And the CFO didn't really give an exact answer, but she did say, bottom line, I would say the negative factors would outweigh the positives as we move into 26. So essentially, she's saying operating margins in 2026 likely to be lower than 2025. They could try to increase their prices to protect their margins. They haven't done much in the way of price increases. The CFO said, we took a small amount of the assortment up modestly, meaning increase the price a little bit on some of our products. And we've been pleased with the price elasticity, meaning demand is still decent even after those little price increases, in line with our expectations from a revenue and margin perspective. But then she went on to reiterate, in terms of 2026 operating margin, it's fair to assume the negatives will outweigh the positives. The margin push through will be a multi-year effort looking at efficiencies. 2026 will be our first full year of tariffs. They talked a bit about China, a bit about international in general, all good news there. So overall, when we look at this report, a bit of good, a bit of bad. As far as the bad, margins going to remain under pressure. The comments from the CFO about margins for the next year, not positive, certainly. While margins for the quarter weren't bad relative to guidance, the outlook is worse than I was expecting. As far as the CEO situation, it's not surprising. They want to try something new. But to be honest, ousting the current CEO and setting up this co-CEO situation without having a plan as far as who's coming in seems a bit unusual to me, and I don't consider that a positive. As far as just the top line, America's certainly disappointing. We knew it was bad, but comparable sales in the US down 5%. That's quite a bit. The US number is even worse than what's being reported here because this is bolstered just slightly by Mexico, where they have grown. So the US numbers, again, a bit worse than I was thinking. In fact, it seems the entire story of this earnings report is basically just being saved by international, and especially China. Growth here has accelerated. Yes, the numbers are fantastic. That's the bright spot. Now, with all that in mind, I think it's time we go to our sheet and look at the assumptions that we had here for Lululemon. I haven't changed these numbers yet. We'll try to decide if they're reasonable. I was assuming 4% growth on the top line every year for the next 5 years. Operating margins normalizing to around 20%. This adjusted free cash flow margin, this represents the value coming back to shareholders in the form of buybacks, and I was giving them a 12 times multiple. And today, those assumptions would be giving you an 11% annualized return on the stock every year for 5 years. Now, keep in mind, that's based on a price of $187, which was the price yesterday. When it opens today, if this is going to open at, $200 some a share, then this IRR is going to be a little bit lower. I think my revenue assumption is a bit low, 4% growth, just a hair over inflation, but they are growing quite well internationally. Again, this quarter, they had 7% growth on the top line. Now, the growth going forward seems to depend a lot on international. This is really a story of two Lululemons. It's like this company in the US and international are just moving completely opposite directions on the road. But I think it's fair to up my revenue assumptions a little bit. I'm going to bump that up to 5%. However, margins. I was assuming margins of 20%. And while that is a bit on the lower side from where they've been over the past decade, I don't like the outlook we're hearing on margins, and I feel like this number needs to come down. The margin I had in my bear case of 18%, I actually feel like I should put that in here for my base case. 18% operating margins. I'm going to keep free cash flow margins where they are. As far as a multiple, 12 times multiple for a brand like this, I think that's reasonable. And with these assumptions now, I'm only looking at a 10% annualized return on this stock. My bear case, revenue growth 2%, I'll maybe bring that up to 3%, but operating margin, I have to bring this down again. 18% operating margin in the bear case is too high. I'm going to drop this to 16%, and yes, for Lululemon, that is very low. This essentially would be the lowest operating margins that they have ever seen. But I think in my bear scenario, it's a nice conservative number to put in. I'm bringing back the free cash flow margin as well, and I'm only giving them a 9 times multiple. And yes, with these assumptions, you have no return on your money over 5 years. You would be completely flat on this investment. As far as my bull case, I was assuming 7% revenue growth every year for 5 years. I should up that a little bit to 8%. They're doing 7% now. If they find a way to simply just remain flat in America, the revenue growth overall of the business could reach 10%. Operating margin 21% in my bull case, I think is fair. And as far as a multiple, I'm giving this company a 16 times multiple. Obviously, they've traded for way more in the past, and I think you could justify a higher number here, but it's still a retailer. I'm not going to give this company an insane multiple. And if these assumptions come true, you're looking at a 24% annualized return on the stock. That's roughly a triple over 5 years. So now what's the summary? Overall, going through the report, reading through the conference call, reassessing my assumptions on margin and the future of this business, I think the risk reward is decent, but it's not excellent. It certainly was better when we were buying in the 160s, but there's a fair amount of uncertainty here, and I just don't feel like I'm being offered enough of a reward in my base case. If this company opens in the 200s, we'll be up a nice, 20-25% on our entry price in just a few months, and I think I'm happy to simply take my gains on this one. Margin pressure might be greater than I thought. There's more uncertainty around management and what that means for expenses than I thought. I think risk reward is decent, but it's certainly not as good as the other stocks we are looking at and other things I hold in my portfolio. So I'm likely going to take profits today. And as far as how we're going to do that, I could just sell, but I don't exactly want to recognize the short-term capital gains in this calendar year. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to sell in the money covered calls on my position that are going to expire in January. In doing so, I will effectively lock in a decent amount of my gains, but I will push the realization of those gains out into January, into the next calendar year. Again, this isn't advice for any of you to buy or sell Lululemon or buy or sell any options. This isn't tax advice for anyone. I just tell you what I'm doing with my money. I give you my opinion, and I hope you got value out of the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel. And the market just opened over here 1 minute ago. What price did Lululemon open at? We opened at $209, so up 12% on the day. Again, if you want to make spreadsheets like the one I have here, consider following me on Patreon. And if you agree or disagree with anything I said here about Lululemon, let me know down in the comments below. Let me know why. And with that said, I hope to see you all in another video.